Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We present before you a few scenes from Lakshmi Raj Sharma's novel, The Tailor's Needle. At the very start, this is not a full enactment of the novel. We cannot leak out the whole plot, you see. We want you to read the book. The purpose of this dramatization is only to introduce to you some of the major characters and the setting of the book. The Tailor's Needle revolves around the family of Sir Saraswati Chandra Ranbakshi, the barrister who has returned to India after his education at Cambridge. I would also like to point out here that we're trying to do something which is not easy. We're trying to present fiction through drama. The two are very different kinds of literary expression, though they may sometimes be needed to be brought together for the sake of convenience. But without further ado, let me take you immediately into the middle of the story, into the Dehradun of 1933. Dehradun, 1933. Sir Saraswati was holding the Hindustan Times. Civil disobedience suspended, emblazoned across its front page. The item was so troubling, he couldn't see the tempest rising in his sun. Sir Saraswati was a public man, living with the guilt of not having played his part in India's freedom struggle. How could he possibly pay attention to his son's small personal needs when the country was reverberating with rebellion? Yogendra had always been a well-dressed man, but these days he seemed to be paying extra attention to British fashions, hairstyles, and his looks in general. Now, his mother, of course, had noticed this change in him, but his father was far too preoccupied. After all, Sir Saraswati had two grown-up daughters and their problems to worry about, and these nibbled at his mind no less than India's freedom struggle. Yogendra surveyed his father's face. He wanted to say something, but words would just not surface to his lips. He couldn't just blurt things out. It was, after all, a matter so close to his heart, it could fall to pieces at any moment. His father, Sir Saraswati Chandra Ranbakshi, was a fortress of a man. And Yogendra, although well past his mid-20s and very much an adult, seemed yet too tender to challenge him.
What's the matter? Nothing at all. Did I say anything?
The fact that you're not saying anything troubles me. Now, is something wrong even with this son of ours? I can see that you're worried. Your illness makes me feel so helpless. I can handle a crowd of hooligans, but I can't see you looking so weak and worried.
Why is my husband thinking so much about me? Have I grown any prettier at this age?
Sorry. You know I love you. It's just my mind. And the turmoil on the streets. I don't want to worry about this boy when I have his sisters to consider. One seems obedient enough, but the other. Well, you have a young daughter return to her father in her condition, while the mother twinkles into
now take you further back in history. Today, 1917. Lord Mortimer Edmund Griffin Tiffin, His Excellency, the Viceroy of India, sat in his thickly cushioned chair, looking at the mirror with its bejeweled frame, and saw in it the reflection of a rather comic face. His barber made every effort to ensure that His Excellency's excellent skin remained unharmed of the exigencies of an overbearing power of marriage. His moustaches, side whiskers, and curly-worthy hairstyle were examined from 360 angles to ensure that not a lock of curls stood out in rebellion.
That's not a bad job at all. Am I free at last?
You was always free, sir. It is we people who are slaves.
You're getting cheeky, Maywood. I think my predecessor gave you far too much liberty. Who says India is enslaved? A country in which an ordinary barber can backchat so boisterously with one less than the viceroy himself can hardly be called enslaved. Is it not the proof of the permissiveness to which the British character can stoop?
Lord Sahab, you asking me? I says there is, in fact, no limit to which the British character can stoop.
All right, all right. Just because I like you, it doesn't mean you can get away with anything you choose to say. Come on. Put me out of this chair. Will you?
Yes, Lord Sahab, I will. Just a minute.
His Excellency then turned his eyes to a life-size painting mounted on the wall, in which Lord Curzon and the Maharaja of Baroda each stood with a gun in hand and two dead tigers at their feet. The painting made the wonderful boy smile.
Maywood, am I not qualitatively different to that lord in the painting?
You is actually quite different. Lord Curzon Sahab was really great man.
You rascal, don't try my patience. Would you know, Maywood, why Canister MacLeod hasn't appeared before me in the past 2 days?
I don't know, Lord Sahab, but Canister has probably catched a heart fever.
Good God, what kind of fever is that?
It is a fever in which the heart gets heated and you feel cheated when you is not fully heated and it refuses to obey the head.
Well, that's poetry, Maywood. You're improving. Though you much to learn, the English language is not to be fooled with. Canister, that awfully sweet idiot, is always up to some mischief or other.
Yes, Lord Sahab, Canister is a real idiot.
Shut up. Should we go in for my bath?
Yes, Lord Sahab, we'll go